Step in my dojo, you
Step in my dojo, you
step in my.
Let's party. Oh yeah, I'm talking about the Dojo TV house party, baby. This hit event series happens on the reg, featuring 4 audio video sets from incredibly talented artists, followed by 1 hour of free educational content, usually as part of the weekly download, but sometimes I do workshops, and these classes are a great place to get a sample of what it's like to be in the dojo, all for free. Then following that, we give away prizes for about 10 minutes to some of our more talented Producer Dojo members. We do a competition called the Remix Your Life Challenge, where our most disciplined dojo members get fabulous rewards like software from Arturia or Native Instruments, memberships at places like melodics.com where you can work on your chops, and sometimes we give away hardware like a Machine Plus hardware unit. So it's a great time. There's prizes all around, and we get to applaud our hardworking dojo members for being so awesome. And then at the end, I do track feedback, and you can get feedback from me on the live stream, get your music in front of people, and get some really, really detailed input on where you can go next in your journey. Best part, it's all free. All you gotta do is sign up for Dojo TV at the link below, and you will get access to the Dojo TV house party for free every time it happens. It's super fun. You're gonna love it. I'll see you in the dojo. Peace.
All right, there's a lot of links in the chat, so yeah, we'll work our way through them, but Judo Chop is first, Xeno is gonna be after that. And Judo Chop, how long have you been making music for? Make sure you guys can hear it and everything. Turn this up. Sweet. Xeno, the Seth Drake approach is insanely good. So good. Okay. Super ominous. Judo Chop, is the second drop significantly different than the first drop? Which drop should I listen to? What's up, K-Fish? Good to see you, man. K-Fish himself is in the chat. He is a beat battler. He's so good. What's up, Sam Candy? Good to see you. Okay. Hey. Hey. All right, so really cool bass sounds. Bass sounds could use a little bit more stereo width. Drums can be lifted just a hair. Drums are a little bit tucked behind the mix. Oh, volume is, hold on, let me see if we turn this up anymore. How's the volume on your side? Well, volume's maxed out on my side. Okay. Alright, I'm liking that melodic little pad pluck in the background too, that's cool. And Dojo, if you have any notes, drop it in the chat as well. What's up, K-Fish? Those arms can be lifted too. They're a bit tucked behind everything. Okay, cool. All right, volume's good. Sweet, awesome. Cool, really cool basses. The sounds like it's holding one note. All right, so I'm gonna go and pause it here. I'm gonna jump into the second drop here and see what's going on. Cool, a different melody. All right. Cool. All right, there's a lot of really cool cool ideas here. So a couple notes. If you guys have any suggestions and feedback as well, drop it into the chat as well. So right now you have a couple of really cool concepts. The bass, the little squishy bass that you have going on is super tight. We're liking that. But right now this needs a solid just leveling, because right now your drums feel a bit too quiet, your arps are a bit too quiet as well, because that bass is so prominent in the drop. You want to make sure everything has its own space. Also in terms of articulation, articulation in both your sub and your basses, because right now the bass is sort of, it's so memorable that the bass is doing this pattern, but it's not changing enough to keep it interesting. So finding different sort of like ways to cut that bass or throw some effects on the bass and change it so it's a different flavor of the bass, so that way it's rotating, kind of like if you're familiar with the loop menu, where you're going through these different like effects presets and changing your bass. That's gonna make your bass way more interesting after you do like a 4/8 worth of repeat, and then you switch up into a new section, so the bass is just a little bit different. Second, your melodic elements, your arps and stuff, they're pretty reverbed out, and it sounds like you have the high end rolled off, whereas they're pretty important inside of the drop. So I would lift those quite a bit, especially when the arp develops in the second half of the drop here. Your bass has already had its moment in the first half of the drop. In the second half of the drop, take your arp and then maybe switch the priority just a little bit, so your arp is the main face of the second half of your drop there. And the last thing I'd say is in terms of arrangement, shorten the thing down, because right now 6 minutes is a long track, and you have a lot of cool ideas, and you have a different sort of melodic thing in the second half here. So you could take this whole section right here, articulate it in a very, very detailed way, and turn that into 2 drops, and you have yourself a full track, and you can save those other ideas for another track, because 6 minutes is a long time for a track. But yeah, Italy Pill is saying checkerboard. Yeah, call and response is cool too. Yep, definitely. And just articulation. If you haven't seen the checkerboarding or the horizontal versus vertical weekly download, those are money. So definitely check those out. It'll help you get some more like fun moments inside of your track as well. I use the loop menu on this to start, says Judo Chop. Sick, sounds good. All right, great job. Let's go ahead and keep moving on here. Hey, Judo Chop, great job with that track. Thanks for dropping that for us. Next up is Xeno. We're just kind of going down the line here. And as people are dropping their SoundClouds, be sure to go to each other's SoundClouds and follow each other as well. That's one of the coolest things about the dojo, is that it's a whole community of producers, and when people release, we can support it. So, all right, we got Xeno up in here. Let's go ahead and check it out. Chat, loving the notes in the chat as well. Let's keep on going. Drop your notes in the chat. Let's go. Bam. This looks really fat. It sounds like the sub is going to explode. It looks like the sub's gonna explode. Alright, the snare here feels a bit overcompressed to me. When I first started in the dojo, total newbie, had no idea what I was doing, and I remember I was putting reverb on my kicks, which is not always a bad thing I've learned, but I was like reverbing my kicks out, and I was like reverbing my drums out, and looked at the year-long package, and I'm like, you know what, I'm ready for this, let's just jump in and commit to it. So I jumped in for 1 year, and I'm like, okay, I have 12 months. I saw the belt system, and I'm like, okay, like this is some kind of progression. Let's just like get after the belts and start working. Started like crushing the weekly download. Just honestly, just like seeing that moment happen from when I first started in the dojo as a white belt. It really was a process of learning to trust, to grow as a producer, and to like trust my own skill set, and to like believe in my own music. So I've had some really cool opportunities with music. So big ups to the whole dojo, and big thanks to you, Dylan.
Heck yeah.
Really cool guitar. Is that you live? That's cool. It's crazy because the sub is loud, but it doesn't have a lot of harmonics above the low fundamental. Hey, what's up, Keith Musician? Welcome to the stream. Good to have you. In your frequency range to fill out the mids. You have a lot of space in there. Hey. Is that you live? That's cool. With the guitar? Yo, what's up, Trish? Good to see ya. How you been? The panning of your hats is a bit too extreme as well. Woo. Xeno on the guitar. Let's go. Come on. The guitar is sexy. I like it. Yeah, those hats are too loud and they're way too pan. I would reduce the percentage of the pan and also pan it faster. Oh, the drop doesn't hit as far as I was hoping it to hit. We'll talk about why in a second too. Yeah, these hats are way too pan for me. But yeah, chat, why did that drop? What would you do to help enhance that drop? I'd love to hear what you would do. So this fade in here, I hear the fade in of the secondary drums coming in. That's a bit awkward in terms of the groove there. All right, sweet. We'll finish this track up here. Usually when I'm auto panning stuff, it's usually like 50%, if even that. When you hard pan stuff this much, it kind of throws the mix off balance a little bit there. And this bass pluck could use a whole bunch more upper harmonics as well. Cool, really unique track though overall, really cool bass plex. So, when this drop hits here, there's a couple notes I want to say. So both sound design and arrangement, there are things that can be picked up in this track right now. Xeno, first of all, great job with the guitar, because the way you rip that guitar is like next level stuff the whole way through. So, yeah, so, whoa, hello. Hello. Okay, cool. Yeah, so the main thing here is when that drop hits, if you are, have you seen the weekly download that talks about the 3 extremes? The 3 extremes is you want to pay special attention to the mix in the very highs, the very lows, and the very wide. So when that drop hits, you want to open things up on the very high frequency spectrum, on the very lows, and then also the width as well. Because it feels like when that drop hits, things don't open up. The drop should feel like it explodes, and then all of a sudden, all these edges of your mix frame are now are now opened, right? Second thing you want to think about is filling out the frequency spectrum. So generally with my drops, at a very base minimum, I look at the pink spectrum, the pink noise spectrum balance, and how it sort of fills out the like Voxengo span or a spectrum analyzer. And I want to make sure I'm looking at my own mix and seeing if there are pockets that are missing. So there are pockets that are missing inside of your track in general. Throughout the first half here, you have the sparkly highs in your guitar and you have your super low sub, but you have a lot of room in the mids to fill out. So you can find an element in there to fill that out. Also, when the drop happens, you have a lot of sub, but that bass pluck has a lot of room in the highs to fill out. The highs is what's missing in that drop to make it feel super exciting. Also, you want to think about, if you're in the weekly downloads as well, check out all the build-up weekly downloads. It helps you narrow the frame while your build-up is happening. So that way, especially the 3 extremes, you narrow the 3 extremes so that when the drop hits, it feels way bigger. So that's something to think about as well. Sometimes in my build-ups, I will do an EQ on the highs and EQ on the lows, and kind of pinch it down through the build-ups. So that way it's kind of squeezing down my mix on the highs and the lows. So that way when the drop hits, I'm like waiting for that like high frequency content and the low frequency content. And all of a sudden when the drop hits, it just feels super good. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful for you, Xeno. Thank you for dropping that track for us. Really unique sounds. Arrangement-wise, check out the arrangement exercise, because right now you have sort of like a verse, because this doesn't feel like a drop yet, and then the verse runs for 1.5 minutes, and then it goes into the drop because you have this build up there. I would rearrange it so you can just cut this in half, have drop A, have this second half of the verse be verse 2, and then have a secondary part of your drop B or drop 2 come afterwards to kind of do just a cohesive song afterwards as well. But yeah, chat, if you have more notes, go ahead and drop it in the chat. But yeah, Xeno, appreciate you. Thank you for dropping that track. Let's keep moving on here. Sweet, all you guys who are new around here, welcome. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Richard. I go by 6th Street. We are doing music feedback here just specifically for the dojo for the next, 45 minutes or so. So let's keep moving on here. There's a lot of tracks to check out, and I love hearing what we're doing here. And definitely drop by each other's SoundClouds as well and follow each other. And if you guys haven't checked out my SoundCloud, I go by 6th Street, so you can find me on there as well. Sweet, let's keep going. Spider Hound, drop rack. Oh my gosh, yeah. The drop rack is on every single one of my songs. rack in my template. If you guys don't have it, go to the build up weekly downloads and download it. It's so good because it's Dylan's rack of narrowing down the stereo width, narrowing down the highs, narrowing down the lows. So when the drop hits, it hits you like a truck. So you need it. If you want your drops to hit you like a truck, you need the drop rack. All right, we got the next one here. Let's go and check it out. Who is this one by? Just making sure here. I want to make sure I'm not skipping anybody as well. It looks like we are on Thomas Xavier. All right, let's do it. Let's check it out. This is Thomas Xavier, right? Whoa, okay. Hey. Get some other tracks loaded up here. That kick can hit a whole lot more. That kick can really slap. Hey. Hey. Yeah, that kick is gonna hit. The kick is way too quiet. Let's go.
Mental.
Yeah, this hits.
Real.
Hey. Yeah, the kick in the verse needs to be brought up a little bit. It's too quiet in the verse, yep. But this hits. Hey.
Real.
Nice, bounce is pretty good here. What's up, Wondering Pinky? Love your day. Alright, sweet. I'm gonna keep skipping ahead here. Second drop here. Yeah, someone followed me, guys. Thank you for the follow, DJ Sean J. Appreciate that. If you guys haven't followed my Twitch, go follow me on Twitch as well. Alright, I'm gonna go to the second drop here. Yeah, we got a lot of dope tracks so far. See how it's narrow? This is narrower and opens. Ready to go. Hey, this one slaps.
Real.
Hey.
Real.
All right, drop feels pretty cool to me. If you guys have any notes, drop it in the chat. Hey.
Real.
That little, like, video game sound on the top is really cool.
Real.
Cool, I'm gonna skip ahead to the last drop here. All right. Because the build-up seemed fine to me.
Mental.
Okay, I think we got a good idea of the track. All right, sweet. All right, chat, let's roast it. What can be developed about this track? So for me, the biggest things that need to be developed right now, drops are sounding pretty cool. The one thing that could be developed more in the drop, I think, are those bass plucks. And you could really get some transient shapers on those bass plucks, especially in bass house. Those bass plucks are a huge part of the rhythm and like the percussiveness of the drop. So you have a cool rounded sort of bass pluck right now. If you just add some sort of attack on that bass pluck, it's going to enhance the danceability and sort of the percussiveness in your drop. Because you have sort of like a slow attack on your bass, it sounds like, on your bass pluck thing. Really cool just songwriting overall. The parts that need to be developed right now, because your drops are so killer, are the verses. The verses don't hit, and the verses need to slap just as much as the drops. Of course, the drops have to slap a little bit more, but the verses feel really quiet and very like thinned out. It needs more low end, it needs more sub, and those kicks are too quiet as well. Yo, thanks for the follow. Hey, Alexandra, appreciate you. Much love. I think it's a kick here. Yeah, if you don't want to use that kick, wait, why is it not playing from here? Oh, that played from the very end. Yeah, those kicks here need to be way louder as well. So the kicks still need to read, because when you mix this song into a like in a CDJ in like a club setting, the verse kick still has to hit. It has to hit real good, because if it doesn't hit there, people are gonna lose interest and then they won't want to listen to the drop. So the verse kick still has to hit. Develop the verse out a little bit more so it's still full, and then your drops are feeling pretty great. So yo, great job with that, man. Dude, this is super popping. I love it.